What's up, YouTube? This is Fabled Psychic Dragon. We are a team of 3 Yu-Gi-Oh players who prefer Fabled Archetype, Psychic Archetype, and Dragon Archetype. We are new to the whole YouTube thing. We've been watching videos on YouTube, and we figured, why not have our own deck? Well, for me, I am the Fabled user, and this is your basic Fabled deck. To start off with the Fabled deck, the main function of a Fabled deck is to pitch cards and destroy your opponent's field while bringing things to your field. Big monsters are easier to come by with this deck because of the many synchro summonings you can do. Not to mention your opponent is hard for you. Your opponents can't really stop you very well because of how well this deck keeps field control. To start off, the engine of this deck that I like to use is Fabled Kushano. This is probably my favorite card. The reason I love him so much is he's a level 3, which means all the Exceed monsters I want. He's a tuner, which means I can also go for as many synchros as I want, and his effect. While he's in the graveyard, I can pitch him, I can pitch another Fabled monster to bring Kushano to my hand, which is good for almost every single Fabled monster. Next we have the basically staples for this deck, 3 Fabled Krus. It's a level 2 light fiend monster like all the other cards. Basically what it is when it's pitched, I get to special summon a level 4 or lower Fabled monster from my graveyard, which is good because I'll have a lot of them in my graveyard, like Kushano, because Kushano is a good tuner, especially with this card, because this is not a tuner, while this deck runs a lot. 3 plus 2, 5, obviously. A lot of level 5 synchros in this deck. Probably the best play for this deck is level 5s. Next up, we got the basic special summon combo of this deck. The basic 3, the Fabled Cerburrel. Level 2 tuner, beast, light. When this card is pitched, special summon it from the graveyard. Amazing card, level 2 tuner. Good goes hand in hand with the Fabled Ganashia. The level 3 effect monster, because like I said, level 5s are really good for this deck. Level 3. So basically, XYZs are accessible. Light monster, beasts. So this card, when you pitch it, it special summons itself just like Cerburrel over here. But this card gets an extra 200 attack point bonus, which makes it an 1800. But the only problem is when it leaves the field, instead of going to the graveyard like Cerburrel, Krus, Kushano, it goes to the banish pile, which is not that good. The good part about this card is that in Galactic Overlord, which is coming out in a month, when you have cards in your banish pile, you can basically special summon Light Ray Sorcerer. That card is going to be crazy because it takes cards from your banish pile, puts them back into your deck, which makes this deck even stronger. Next up we have probably the control card of this deck, the Fabled Catsith. This card's good, it's level 1 beast tuner, light. Basically what it says is I can pitch this card to pop 1 face-up card on the field. Any face-up cards. So basically, wind-ups can go down, Safe Zone, Fiendish Chain, Call of the Haunted, Insectors, Dragons. This card is good. Especially if you're versing something like Judgment Dragon and Light Sworns. Your opponent summons Judgment Dragon, you play a trap card, pitch this card, get rid of their Judgment Dragon right there. They may get priority, but they can't hit you for that 3,000 points they want to hit you for. Next up, not too sure about this card, the Fabled Nozoochee. It's good, but not that good. It's good because it's a good engine starter for Kushano. Basically what it says is I can pitch any Fabled monster from my hand to special summon this card. When it's special summoned this way, I can special summon from my hand a level 2 or lower Fabled monster. So, Krus, Catsith, Cerburrel. It's easy for easy tuning. It's not a tuner, but it's a good target because Kushano's a level 3, and I need level 5s. Next up, the Fabled Peggulsus. This is basically your Foolish Burial. It says when this card is discarded, basically you bring it to the field, but instead of being face up like Cerburrel and Ganashia, face down defense position. When it's flipped face up, reveal 1 Fabled from your hand, dump 1 Fabled from your deck to the graveyard. This is how you get the engine going. Fabled Kushano goes straight to the graveyard with this, and you start going crazy with it. Last Fabled card of the deck, besides the extra deck, Fabled Dianaira. Although it is a dual terminal set, this card, I wanted to get it in not dual terminal because I like the way my cards look when they're not in dual terminal. This card's good because it's a 2800 beat stick, level 8, and you can tribute summon it using 1 Fabled monster. That's also good because it's a beat stick like that. Its effect says that when your opponent activates a normal spell card, so Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, cards like that, its effect becomes your opponent discards one card. So this card's good. It lets me pitch cards instead of them blowing up my cards, reviving their cards. Next is Snipe Hunter. Obvious reasons. Pitch a card, roll dice, hopefully 4 out of 6 chances to get a pop, which is good. Combo with Catsith. If you don't guarantee a pop from this, your Catsith pops the card for you. Not to mention it's level 4 to go with level 1 tuners like Peggulsus and Catsith, level 5s. Sangan, and Gorz in Secret Rare. Sangan Gorz because just in case I don't get my engine going and they get a big beat stick, I get a token and a big beat stick. That is the monsters of this deck. It runs about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 monsters, which I guess is a good basis for the deck because you want to make sure you have a nice monster count as well as a good spell and trap count. Next we have spells. For obvious reasons, we have 3 Dark World dealings. Because who doesn't want to draw a card? And when you're discarding a card, with Fableds, discarding a card isn't always a minus. Discarding a card can sometimes go plus. Also, chaining to Dark Worlds, Dark World Lightning. Because I don't run MSTs in this deck, I need this card to get rid of face-down cards, like if say they had Solemns or Mirror Force, Dimensional Prison, Bottomless Trap Holes. Good thing to get rid of them. 2 Lightning Vortexes, because who doesn't need a Raigeki that gives you a plus for this deck? Combo with Catsith. Your opponent has a field spell up, pop their field spell and their field. Basic staples, Pot of Avarice, because it's nice to put them back in my deck when I need them, except for Kushano. Dark Hole, super rare. Heavy Storm, and Monster Reborn, for all obvious reasons. That is all of the spells in the deck. Next we have the trap cards. Here's probably my second favorite trap card in the deck, Karma Cut. For those of you who don't know what Karma Cut does, I pitch a card and remove from play 1 face-up monster. And if there's any other monster with that name in your opponent's graveyard, remove them from play with it. This card kills windups and Inzectors. This card is amazing with that. Especially since I pitch a card to use it, so I get to pop even more. Next card. I overlooked this card at first. It came inside the Lost Sanctuary with the fairies and the agents. Didn't really look at it, got rid of them as soon as I got them. And it took me a while to find a new one, but this card says discard all cards in your hand. All of them. So it's like Morphing Jar. But instead of drawing 5 cards, I get to bring light monsters from my graveyard to my hand equal to the number of cards I discarded. That means if I drop Catsiths or Kruses or Nozoochees, I bring them right back to my hand and use them again. Next, Raigeki Break, because I don't run MSTs. Nice thing to have, combo with Catsith, 2 cards instead of 1. Phoenix Wing Blast. I wish it wasn't in dual terminal, another dual terminal along with the one of my Karma Cuts. Basically what this is, I pitch a card and send 1 card on the field to the top of its deck. This card is good to get rid of Zenmains and Stardusts, because we know those are so popular now. Then you have the basic staples, the ultra rare Mirror Force, Metal Raiders, 2 Bottomlesses, and the Solemn, because God says no. No. That wraps up the traps and the main deck